The Trump administration says billions in pandemic unemployment funds are still being uncovered as government watchdogs within the Labor Department announce a major new fraud finding.
The Inspector General for the Department of Labor reporting $720 million was found still loaded on unused prepaid debit cards for COVID-era unemployment, in addition to another $192 million that was sent to state programs. Now, he wants this money returned to the taxpayers.
To discuss his latest discovery, let's bring in Department of Labor Inspector General Anthony D'Esposito. Sir, it's good to see you tonight. Thank you for explaining this to us. I'm glad you found 900 million wasted dollars. I'm disturbed that it's out there and it took so long to find it. But I'm trying to understand, this is on debit cards. Were these just like sitting in offices somewhere collecting dust for all these years?
Well, just as concerned as you are, so am I. And obviously under President Trump and his administration, there's a renewed commitment to accountability and protecting taxpayer dollars. And what this is during the pandemic, there were debit cards, prepaid debit cards issued to those who applied for unemployment insurance. And what we found is that there's close to $1 billion still left on these cards. Now, $720 million remains sitting on cards. And the scary part is there's another about $130 to $150 million that has already been sent back to some states that will go to their unclaimed funds. And obviously, the states that are working well with the Department of Labor in order to move through these all these files and find this money, I think that they will work to get the money back to the taxpayers. But our concern is the $150 million that has already been sent to some states that are not really willing to work with the Trump administration in order to claw this money back. Our team, of auditors and investigators worked extremely hard. They reviewed over 6.5 million of these prepaid debit cards, and some of the accounts, single accounts, had close to $80,000 sitting on them. So what this tells us is, when everyone was just throwing money out there for this pandemic, that there is a lot of fraud, and there's nearly $1 billion in taxpayer money that we can claw back. And I think we would agree that when money is wasted and there's fraud, that's a tax on the American people. Yeah. And President Trump has made it very clear that he wants to make America more affordable again. And by putting this money back into the American people's hands, we will do and help with just that.
Well, kudos to you and your office and your staff for doing the hard work of finding all of this unused COVID money just laying around. But I think it raises another question for me, which is, how can that happen? How can $900 million be issued and not be used? And now, I guess, is just out there vulnerable to fraud, which you're trying to stop. You're asking that it now be returned. But what is the scenario in which this money leaves the federal government and then just sits? Is that because it shouldn't have been issued in the first place?
Well, I'm not certain that it shouldn't have been issued in the first place, but I think that what happens with a lot of these programs, as we saw in Minnesota, when you have millions upon millions of dollars going to Somalians and the creation of leering centers where that money should have been going to our most vulnerable population, special needs, elderly, seniors, those who are homeless. Instead, the money was used by fraudsters. And in this case, I think that, a lot of that money that went to the states, what we've seen over the past couple of years is many leaders, elected leaders, try to say that they're being compassionate. But what I always say is that you can still be, you can still have compassion, but you can follow the rules. And when you take down guardrails, and when you have no accountability, and when you don't allow people to check ID, and you allow these funds to be retrieved virtually and online, it opens the doors to fraud. Yeah. And that's why we are focusing on recovering this nearly $1 billion. And one of the things that we're facing, and I know that Chairman Jason Smith of the Ways and Means Committee has a bill that passed the House to extend the statute of limitations, because much of the statute of limitations are about to expire, and where that's headed over to the Senate so that our great investigators and auditors can continue to do this work to root out the waste, fraud, and abuse and get this taxpayer money back to the American people.
real quick, just like 20 seconds left. It took, you guys had to go through 6 million records. Is there anything to speed this up? Because it's going very slowly, and we'll be having these conversations 20 years from now. What can speed it up? Just 10, 15 seconds left, sir.
What can speed it up is, quite frankly, we need more funding to these offices like mine in the Inspector General's office so that we can invest in technology and resources in order to conduct these investigations quicker. And secondly, we need states that will actually cooperate with the federal government.
Yeah, that'd be helpful, like Minnesota, California, and others. Sir, good to see you. Anthony D'Esposito, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, hey, tomorrow on The Big Money Show, Marcus Lemonis, Larry Kudlow, you don't want to miss that.